Hey everybody! Welcome back to another round of astronomy. Yeah, let's get going. So today, or at least for this video I have for you, is Star Chart 3. Displayed for you is everything from Star Chart 2 that you should know by now and have it locked into your memory banks. And just like the last time, we're going to build off of this to get the rest of Star Chart 3. Now, one of the things I should mention to you is that I've saved some of these options, these stars for Star Chart 3, simply because they're not visible during the winter months. So as we move into the spring and then into the summer, you'll start seeing more of these Star Chart 3 stars in the night sky. Just to keep that in mind. So first off, where we're going to start, we are going to follow the line that takes us to Regulus in the constellation Leo. So we start where the bowl attaches to the handle, and we go down through the bottom star on the bowl, through Regulus, and keep going. You'll run across the star about 30 degrees away in the constellation Hydra, and this star is named Alphard. Okay. Now, just incidentally, if you're trying to find the star and you're sitting at Hanover, you'll have to basically be looking south. So this will be very close to the southern horizon. I find it the easiest to be standing at the point to actually view it. So I kind of have to mentally lean backwards, turn around, and face south to see it. Okay. Next up, we are going to start where the handle attaches to the bowl. And we are going to follow the arc of the handle. We continue the arc of the handle in order to arrive at Arcturus in the constellation Boots. Keep going. Follow that line and keep going another 30 or 40 degrees or so, and you'll run into another bright star that is named Spica in the constellation Virgo. Okay. Next up, so once we have Vega and Deneb, so how do we get to Vega and Deneb? The first one is, instead of starting where the handle attaches to the bowl and going down through the star, the star directly beneath, we'll start on the bottom star, go through where the handle attaches to the bowl, and keep going about 60 degrees or so. That will arrive smack dab between Vega and Deneb. Now, once you have Vega and Deneb, start with Deneb. Imagine drawing a line through Vega and keep going. Okay. Now, this one's fairly far in distance. Okay. This one is about 75 degrees or so it's rather far. And you'll run into a constellation, Scorpio, and the star that you're looking for, the brightest one in the constellation, is Antares. Okay. Now, if you're familiar with the story, Orion, the great hunter, was boastful, and so the gods sent an animal that Orion would fail to defeat, namely Scorpio. Scorpion climbed up onto the back of Orion, pricked him, and thus Orion was defeated. So to make sure that Scorpio and Orion do not fight in the night sky, the gods placed them on opposite sides. So if you imagine about how you navigate to Orion, you can kind of navigate to Scorpio as well. You find Orion in the night sky, point 180 degrees away, and that's roughly where Scorpio should be located. So just another way to triangulate it. The other thing I should point out to you is, if you can see Orion, you're not going to be able to see Scorpio. Okay? They're 180 degrees away. So keep that in mind. We will also use Vega and Deneb, and instead of going towards Antares, just keep going straight. So you arrive at Vega and Deneb and just follow that line. Keep going. Okay? You go about 30 degrees along that line from the Big Dipper to Vega and Deneb, and you'll run into another bright star called Altair in the constellation Aquila. I'll have to look up what that is again. I don't remember that constellation in particular. So. Okay? Yeah, good. Next up is two stars over here. Okay? So just as a review, remember we get to Cassiopeia by taking where the handle connects to the bowl, traveling through Polaris, and going about the same distance. You run into a set of about 5 stars, a lopsided W. That's the constellation Cassiopeia. I didn't give you the name stars, I just said remember the shape. And you should be able to see Cassiopeia regardless of the time of year. From the mid-northern latitudes, the continental United States, Cassiopeia is a circumpolar constellation. Now, using Cassiopeia, we'll take the 2 inside stars of the larger triangle. We follow a line indicated by those 2 stars to run into the Great Square of Pegasus. Now we'll use the Great Square of Pegasus to navigate to our 2 new stars. The first one, use the left 2 stars, okay? And we'll start on the bottom one, we'll go through the top, and we'll go about 30 degrees. And we'll run into the star Fomalhaut in Pisces Austrinus. Now please be careful. Generally, I'm okay with phonetically close names for both the stars and the constellations. Here I have to be very particular because there is a constellation named Pisces. Okay? Did I say Pisces? Pisces. Okay. Pisces. Okay? This is Pisces Austrinus, the southern fish. So if you just write Pisces, I'm going to have to count it wrong because there's another constellation that goes by that name. So you have to be careful. Make sure you write Pisces Austrinus. Okay? Just like Alphard and navigating to Alphard in the constellation Hydra, Pisces Austrinus, when it is out, you'll have to face south. Okay? So again, going to the point. The other 2 stars that you have not used in the Great Square of Pegasus also point to our last star on the star chart. So we'll follow those 2 stars. We'll go about 40 degrees or so, and you'll run into the constellation Diphda, the star Diphda in the constellation Cetus. Cetus is the sea monster that was sent to Cetus was the sea monster that was sent to devour Andromeda as a punishment to the vain queen Cassiopeia. Okay? And of course, again, Andromeda, the daughter of Cassiopeia, was rescued by Perseus flying on the great winged horse Pegasus. So you get Cetus, the sea monster, Pegasus, the winged horse, Cassiopeia, the vain queen, all roughly in the same area of the night sky. Okay? Good, good. And in fact, go along with that, I will give you an object of interest. If you imagine the large triangle of the constellation Cassiopeia, imagine that as an arrowhead. It is pointing to a galaxy that is known as M31, or if you prefer, the Andromeda Galaxy. Okay? So you can call it M31, you could call it the Andromeda Galaxy. It matters not to me when you're producing your star chart. This is the next closest galaxy to the Milky Way. It's a mere 2.5 million light years away. And be careful, it is blue shifted. So duck, in about 4 to 5 billion years, the Andromeda Galaxy will be close enough to the Milky Way that they will start merging and forming a single huge galaxy. Stay tuned. Alrighty then. There's a couple of other interesting things that I want to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove some of these lines just to improve the clarity of our image. Okay. So the next thing I'll highlight for you are several of the constellations that you have memorized. And I'll read these off. Scorpio, Virgo, Leo, Gemini, Taurus. You have heard those constellations, I imagine, before even setting foot into the astronomy class. And we've mentioned them several times, but these are several of the constellations of the zodiac. And remember, why were the zodiac constellations even chosen? Why were they, quote unquote, important? Yeah, good. They are the constellations through which the sun passes at some point during the year. If you have these constellations, the location of these constellations roughly memorized, you have an idea where the ecliptic plane lies. Okay? So I'll give you this object of interest, the ecliptic plane. It passes through these zodiac constellations that you have on your star chart. Okay? So yes, I expect you to include that when I say reproduce the star chart. Next up, you have the winter triangle formed by the stars Betelgeuse, Sirius, and Procyon. Okay? The fact that we call that a winter triangle would be indicative that there is also a summer triangle. The summer triangle is formed by the stars Vega, Deneb, and Altair. Okay? And indeed, when it's summertime, if you see it, if you're in Hanover during summertime and it's sunset or so, it's roughly directly above you. Okay? So a point of 3 stars roughly directly overhead. Summer triangle. Next up, I'll use the summer and winter triangles to give you another object of interest in the night sky. And you can think of this object of interest as passing through the summer triangle, looping around Cassiopeia, and then passing through the winter triangle is the Milky Way galaxy. Going out on a clear night, you can look up and actually see a faint haze where the Milky Way galaxy is, the plane of the Milky Way galaxy. I will say that it's easier. I've tried it. I think it's easier to do in the summer when the summer triangle is directly overhead. And that has to do with the fact that you're looking through less air, so it's a little bit more well-defined. The other one is that it kind of gets really, you're looking more towards the edge of the Milky Way galaxy when you look towards the winter triangle, so it's just not naturally as bright. Just for interest, and this will come up in later lectures, the center of the Milky Way galaxy is roughly in the area of Scorpio. Not quite, but it's in that general ballpark. Okay, so that finishes off all of the star charts. This is star chart 3, and again, yes, you're expected to know everything now on the star chart. That includes your star names, your constellation names, and your objects of interest. Everything that you see displayed before you. Okay. If you prefer a listing, here you go. Okay. And again, now you have about 19 named stars, 22 constellations, and roughly 5 features. Right ascension 0, the Milky Way galaxy, the ecliptic plane, M31, the Pleiades. Okay? And of course, you've got those asterisms and that kind of thing too. Okay? So there you go. Not as intimidating as it first was during the first week of lecture, right? Take that elephant, cut it up into steaks, eat it one steak at a time. Okay, so that's all I have for the star chart video. I'll make sure to get some other videos posted for you. Thanks for your attention. Bring questions when you have them. I'll see you next time.